In just hours, a convicted killer will be put to death, still maintaining his innocence and still hoping an appeal will spare his life. This Tuesday, Idaho's death row inmate Richard Leavitt is scheduled to be executed, and Fox 9 spoke to Leavitt to get his side of what happened back in July of 1984 when Danette Elge was murdered. And again, as the clock ticks down, Leavitt still claims his innocence. Eric Fink joins us live in the studio with tonight's big story.
Gemma, this afternoon, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco denied Richard Leavitt a stay of execution. And with time running out, Richard Leavitt has never confessed and said he's made his peace and is ready to die. Tonight, he takes us back to the night Danette Elge was killed.
Just sitting and waiting, wondering which way it's going to end.
For more than a quarter century, Richard Leavitt has called death row home. Scheduled to die by lethal injection Tuesday morning, a jury convicted Leavitt of stabbing Blackfoot's Danette Elge 15 times and cutting out her sexual organs in the summer of 1984. Leavitt says he's innocent. Police linked him to Elge's murder after finding Leavitt's blood on her underwear. But Leavitt claims he had a nosebleed and used Elge's clothing to wipe the blood.
It was dark. I don't know what I'm grabbing. I'm not specifically grabbing a pair of panties or anything else. Whatever was there. If it had been a blanket or a T-shirt or whatever, was right there.
Leavitt claims he went back to Elge's home repeatedly for the next several days after that night to pick up a kayak.
We went over there. She said she couldn't find it. Come back the next day. Okay, so my wife and I went back Wednesday, went back Thursday, went back Friday. Nothing. No answer. So we're wondering where she all of a sudden went to.
The condemned killer claims Thelma Wilkins, who he says was Danette's lover, killed her. Police and prosecutors argue Leavitt led them to Danette's body. But Leavitt says he was one of several people at Elge's home when the body was discovered.
We were all there when they went to break into the house. Not just me. There was probably about 5, 6, 7 people besides me.
Leavitt says he then got a call from police to identify Danette's mutilated body.
They called me back, 2, 3 hours later, and asked me if I could identify her. I walked in, holding my breath. I walked in, walked up there and looked, seen what I seen, and said, all I can say is that looks like her hair.
Over the decades, Leavitt contends he passed 2 lie detector tests. But every appeal, at every level, failed. And now Richard Leavitt stares at the final hours of his life. Leavitt says after 27.5 years, he holds out little hope for a stay with now only 36 hours to go. But his attorney, David Nevin, is drafting one final appeal to the United States Supreme Court, which will be reviewed tomorrow. Stay with us. We'll have continuing coverage of this story then. Live in studio tonight, Eric Fink, Fox 9 News at 9.
And as Eric mentioned, be sure to tune in to all of our coverage. Tuesday morning on our sister station, today's Channel 6, we will have the very latest. We will be live at the prison bringing you the coverage of the Richard Leavitt case. Our complete coverage begins at 5 a.m. and we will bring you updates throughout the entire morning.